I spoke to the commissioner after the news yesterday, and the commissioner has assured me that one, all the legal steps in dealing with this matter will and must be followed. The police was under arrest. The Office of Professional Responsibility is undertaking their investigation, and I've asked him whatever external support, if any, is needed, that those external support be sought to ensure that all parties, all stakeholders are comfortable with the outcome of the investigation and the process of investigation. I want to say to the residents that we're going to ensure with support, independent support, that this matter is dealt with professionally, and this should not be exploited politically. This is not a political issue. This is a serious issue. I think the police also issued a statement as to what were the circumstances surrounding the event and what led to the police seeking the individual. All of that will be also investigated. So there's a process, the process must be followed, and that process is what is ongoing.
President, good morning. I noticed that you have had several meetings around the country, and you have either directly or indirectly referred to the stances being taken by Mr. Mohamed in matters of regions. Is your party afraid that you may chip off votes from your party?
Afraid of what? Absolutely not.
So why pay so much attention to him?
I'm not paying any attention to him. That's the problem. Let me come back to you now, Shabral. And I want this to be recorded. And I want it to go out live because I need to address this issue. One of the first things that occurred when I came into office was my dear friend Shabral came to me at the convention center. And he asked me at the convention center whether there is any special protection for the Mohammeds. This was my dear friend Shabral that is asking the same question now. This was his question to me. Whether there was some special protection for the Mohammeds because of my relationship with the Mohammeds. I said to him then that I know Mr. Mohammed growing up as a child. And I assure him that if there is any evidence of wrongdoing, which was suggested that the U.S. was interested in the Mohammeds, that if there was any evidence that the necessary action will be taken. That was my response to Mr. Shabral then. When we were accused of somehow protecting this individual. I said then that the U.S. has not brought at that time, anything to our attention in relation to what the question of Mr. Shabral was. Subsequently, we saw what unfolded. The U.S. not only brought documents, but the U.S. issued sanctions to the Mohammeds. Has nothing to do with the country. So was the U.S. victimizing the Mohammeds when they issued sanctions? This is an international body that investigated. The U.S. issued sanctions. What are we to do as a government? What do we have to do with that? We then said immediately upon, because again Mr. Shabral and others asked, so what action is the government going to take against the Mohammeds now that these sanctions are issued? That was the question. I'm just showing you the consistency of the government and the inconsistency of others. No, let's go on. I'm coming to that. Now let me go through the whole ordeal. Mr. Shabral and others then asked, now you have these sanctions. Why isn't the government taking any action? Why you still have license? Why you still have this? Why you still have that? The very people who are suddenly the defenders and upholders were the ones who came to me and said, is it because you and this man of your acquaintance that no action is taken? I was then accused. I said to them, there's a process. Now that the sanctions were issued, we have asked the U.S. for additional information. The US subsequently, as the AG and GRA said, their agencies cooperating, sent information that is important to the action that the government must take. Nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with political ambition. As I have said, bring it on. If you want to contest, don't hide under banners. Join forces with the AP and UFC, because from all that you're seeing, it is AFC leaders who are organizing this meeting. We don't have a problem with that. We welcome it. That is democracy. That's your right. But we must be open and transparent about how we deploy our democratic right. We have no issues with that. And as information, as partners share information, we are going to ensure that due process. That is the role of the state, to ensure the due process. He can go to the court, and the court, the judiciary is separate and apart from the executive. So I don't know what is this whole thing. I'm not.
But Mr. President, quickly, he has accused two senior members of your administration of essentially trying to blackmail him. He said the Vice President and the Attorney General
absolute nonsense.
With him and said if he does,
absolute.
Yeah,
but he can say anything. He said that he didn't evade taxes. He said, let the facts roll. He said that he did not evade taxes. The U.S. sanctioned him for that. The U.S. sent. So you believe that? So do you believe that? I'm asking you now. Let's be fair. This he said, she said. He said exactly what you're saying, and you believe him. I'm asking you. I'm asking you a question.
I'm not here to respond to your question.
No, but I'm asking you. Democracy is about this. Democracy is about an exchange of views.
I'm here to ask
and I'm here to ask you a question too.
I will not respond to
well, that's your democratic right. So I'm asking you. The U.S. has sanctioned him. The U.S. says he evaded tax. He said no. What do you believe?
Mr. President,
I'm just saying that to you, Chabral, as your friend, to say that everything is a motive, and your question has a motive.
Whether there was any, I'm asking you to respond to the accusation of blackmail.
I don't know what never. We are never involved in blackmail. Blackmail for what? For what? We're going to win this election because we have worked hard, we have delivered, and people love what we're doing. We're going to win this election because we stayed true to the trust that people placed in us when we went to the polls. We're going to win this election because we fulfilled our manifesto. We're going to win this election because the people the people have trusted us and we have delivered. We're not going to win this election because we are lazy. We're not going to win this election because we are undemocratic. We're not going to win this election because we started to steal an election. We're going to win this election because we did what was right. We worked hard, we worked relentless, and of course, I'm aware of all the nasty plots. I'm aware of all the sinful plots that are around. But that doesn't bother me. I am not going to focus on this noise. My focus is on the people of this country. My focus is on advancing. Look, the very journalists, including you, Chabral, including you, and many of the social media commentators, accuse him in the incident with paper. What's the guy right now? Huh? Well, the guy that was killed, right? What was the accusation? That somehow or the other, that this thing was committed by this guy and he was being protected. The very people who are now saying, including you, the very people, let's not be shy about it, my dear friend.
Let us not ask questions, Mr. President.
Yeah, but the way the question is framed, I'm coming to your question. The way the question is framed. At that point, we said an investigation is going on, right? We said for transparency, we brought in the RSS. You reviewed the file. We then took an important piece of evidence and we sent that important piece of evidence to the FBI. The FBI are doing their investigation. Some aspect is coming back. From what I'm advised by the police, there will be additional questioning that is required. And that is a process. I don't get involved in that. I don't get involved in that. We brought in the RSS for independence again. And I told the commissioner, bring in any external help for the independence, because I don't want anyone to accuse. I don't want anyone to accuse us of anything. Because this is a spin-tail story. My focus, and I've made it clear, the focus of this government is the people. Continue working hard every day for the people. The rest will deal with itself.
Mr. President, Mr. Dr Mohamed would have indicated that after the sanctions, he would have met with yourself and the Vice President. Could you say if you've met with him several times?
I don't know what several times.
Let me
be very clear.
Checks were paid out to him after the sanctions.
I don't want
And if
to.
he was asked to declare his goal to boycott, what is your declaration in terms of that?
Well, that something is wrong with your question. Because legally you should declare your goal. That's the law. The law states that you have to declare your goal. So if I have to ask you to declare your goal, something is wrong. This is a big revelation.
But could you say
No,
that as
hold
senior
on.
government official?
No, please, let me finish. I'm answering your question. This is a big revelation that these persons have to be asked to declare their goal. That's a matter of the law. You have to declare the goal. So if any official called and asked for declaration, it means that there's suspicion that you are not declaring.
In wake of the sanction.
And it could be anyhow. Once you have goal, you have to declare it. And if there was a suspicion, then there is a duty for officials to call and ask. And if the goal was actually declared after the suspicion, then you should ask why was the goal kept. That should be your question. You really raised an important issue here in that question. You have really raised an important issue. Now, I don't investigate. There are agencies, and agencies have to look at it. Let me go forward. You asked about people. I don't know about several, but I know as president, and I'm sure as other people, any citizen would request it. We said when these sanctions were brought in, we are not about being vindictive. This was Guyanese, the Guyanese law, Guyanese family. We said that due process should be followed. We requested information, and if in due process there were questions and conversation, then what is wrong with that? There's nothing to hide. We're not hiding anything. There's no big revelation. We're not hiding anything. May God bless all of you. My friend, first and foremost. Yes, I just telling you. I don't want you to get upset. Right? Now, and that's why I wanted to go.
questions are strictly journalistic and have no motive, so
right.
don't read anything into my
So
question.
let me go to your question on tariff. As we said earlier, the U.S. is a strong partner of Guyana, and we have a lot of discussions and conversations that are ongoing. And I'm not going to go further at this point. I've asked the Minister of Finance, and I know the Vice President too, will be meeting with our exporters before the end of this week to have a sense from them as to the current impact on the current circumstances. But there are some good discussions.
Will the U.S. and Ghana be signing a defense treaty?
I'm not going to get into defense matters at this point. As you know, the defense of our country is important. The security of our country is important. And I've said many times that we are going to cooperate with our partners, especially partners who are democratic and observe the rule of law, to ensure that the safety and protection of our citizens and our country is always guaranteed.